The what and whys of corporate social responsibility. Why do we talk about corporate social responsibility? What is CSR? What are the issues involved in CSR? Those are the three main points we are going to address. So why CSR? Companies are facing increasing pressures to consider social and environmental issues. We have the consumers who boycott companies. We have the NGOs attacking companies. We have the investors assessing companies on social and environmental issues. We have regulators regulating, of course. We have the media increasing awareness about social and environmental problems. And we have the globalization, which requires to redefine the boundaries of corporations. Though organizations are faced with pressures, other corporations or organizations, they do integrate CSR, they do talk about CSR because it's part of their values, it's part of their mission. Here are two examples. We have Patagonia, which is a US clothing company, and CSR, or rather the environment, is part of its corporate mission. They want to be a solution for the environmental problems. Another example is Novo Nordisk. Novo Nordisk is a Danish company, pharmaceutical company. And their business philosophy is based on the triple bottom line, which means corporate social responsibility. So it's very much integrated into their business philosophy. How they do business is based on corporate social responsibility. So there are pressures. For some companies, it's because it's part of their vision, it's part of their values and mission, but also because CSR is good for the business, and it's good business. So basically, we can categorize the motivations, the drivers for corporate social responsibilities into four main categories. The first one is about feeling good. It's about the manager's personal ethic, because we want to feel good in our job. We want to be proud of our job and our organization. The second one is about the stakeholders' expectations. It's to maintain or keep our license to operate. It's about, in some cases, to divert attention from some stakeholders, especially the ones attacking the organization. It's about building a good reputation. Those two drivers, feeling good and the stakeholders' expectation, is very much based on emotion, and it's not yet, I would say, embedded into the organization. The third one is about risk management and cost reduction. Here we start to embed CSR into the organization. It's about reducing operating costs, increasing operational efficiency, but it's also about to reduce regulatory oversight and sometimes avoiding global risks. The fourth one, and I believe that's the most important when we talk about corporate social responsibility, is to create value. Creating value because it creates new markets, new products and new services, because it enhances the reputation of the organization, of the company. It's very much about innovation and creativity. So how do we define corporate social responsibility? What is it all about? Two challenges. One is that CSR has a large number of meanings. It means different things to different people. And the second challenge is that CSR is a concept with many names. I talk about CSR, others will talk about corporate citizenship, about sustainability, about business ethics, about global responsibility. So CSR is basically a business approach that contributes to a sustainable development by delivering simultaneously economic, social, and environmental benefits. Two important elements here, which is about the sustainable development, the contribution of a business to a sustainable development. Sustainable development has been defined in 1987 by the Brundtland Report as meeting the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. And businesses should contribute to such a development. The second important element are that corporations, companies are not one-dimensional, but on the contrary are multidimensional. They should contribute or bring economic benefits, but also social and environmental benefits. which may require us to rethink the notion of what is a successful company. Carroll, in 1991, has defined CSR around 4 types of responsibilities. The first one is the economic responsibility. Companies are required to be profitable, are required to maximize sales and to minimize costs. Why? Because they need to pay their employees. They need to be able to pay their suppliers. So then that's really the economic responsibility is something which is required for companies. The second type of responsibility, which is also required, is the legal responsibility. We want the companies, we want the organization to obey the law and the regulations. The third type of responsibility is the ethical responsibility. Here it's not required, it's rather expected. We want the organization, the company, to do what is right, fair, and just. We want the corporation to be just with its employees, as much as we want the employees to be just with the organization. We want the organization also to be just with its suppliers. And the fourth type of responsibility is a discretionary responsibility. Here it's something which is expected or desired. We want the company, the organization, to be a good corporate citizen, to give back to society, to share the value it's creating with the society. So a responsible company is a company that takes into account the economic, social, and environmental impacts of its activity. It's a company that aligns its behavior to its stakeholders' norms and requirements. And it's a company that elaborates principles, policies, and processes to minimize negative impacts and maximize positive impacts on the natural environment and onto society at large. CSR is also very much about re-examining the relationship between business and society. Business is not disconnected from society, but on the contrary, they are very much interrelated and they can't live without each other. They are together and connected to each other. Now, if we go into the issues of corporate social responsibility, it becomes difficult because it addresses a large number of issues. I will follow the ISO 26000 guideline, which has organized the issues around 6 main domains, very much based on a stakeholder approach. The first domain is about human rights. It's about the freedom of association and collective bargaining. It's about the elimination of forced labor or child labor. So this is based on the ILO conventions. The second domain is about the labor practices. So the relation or how the companies, the organization is treating its employees. It's about working conditions, it's about health and safety, it's about work-life balance, it's about diversity. The third domain is about the fair operating practices. And here it's about the relationship between the company and its business partners. It's about responsible political involvement. It's about fair competition. It's about respecting its suppliers. The fourth domain is about consumer issues. How do we treat our consumers? It's about delivering products and services that are safe for the consumers. It's about marketing practices. It's about how do we use the information that the consumers is giving us. So privacy issues, for example. The fifth dimension or domain is about the environment, the relationship between the organization and the environment. We talk here about energy, climate change, waste, biodiversity, the use of natural resources. And the last domain is about community involvement and development. It's about our relationship or the relationship of the organization with its local community, the participation into the development of the economy of the local community. It's about tax responsibilities. It's about land use. So 6 large domains of CSR issues. To conclude, CSR is very much about reconciling business and society. It's not only about philanthropy. It's about integrating social and environmental issues into the business model. It is about being aware and accountable for the social, environmental, and economic impacts of the business operations, activities, and services and products. And it is about understanding, respecting, and engaging with stakeholders.